Hello everyone, with me for TVS News, and these are the headlines. Petronas contractor dies in Sarawak LNG complex incident. Aquatic activities entertainment centre allowed to operate from September 4th. Country's financial under control. The establishment of the Dayak Bidayuh National Association's DBNA's community hostel symbolized the integrity of the community. According to Chief Minister Dato' Petinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg, the community, given their small ratio in Sarawak, should preserve their community's symbols to strengthen their racial solidarity.
You are very lucky because you have all the facilities within one complex. And that shows the solidarity of the Bidayuh. That become a symbol. That's why I still remember I was here, Adnan was here. He was delivering his speech here. Adnan said, jealous kami orang. Even the Malays are not like the Bidayuh. You are really a model community. That's what Adnan said. I was sitting in front. In other words, if that is your brand, don't tarnish your brand. Karena brand dia ada begitu baik sekali, don't tarnish it. And we are giving whatever we can to help everybody, including the Bidayuh community.
Abang Jo said the Bidayuh community managed to put themselves at their own class despite their small percentage in Sarawak.
Tadi saya dengar Datuk Mahkamahnya ngelakar hal number a small community. We compare with the whole population of Malaysia. But I think di Bidayuh community macam cili padi. Cili padi ni dia kecil tapi bisa dan kuat panas dia. That is the character of Bidayuh, though small but very effective. Orang Bidayuh pernah menjadi setiausaha kerajaan negeri. Tan Sri yang ada di depan ni. Dan sekarang kita ada setiausaha Timbalan Setiausaha Kerajaan Negeri. Dan a lot of Bidayuh top corporate leaders. Petros pun yang memimpin Petros hari ini ialah seorang Bidayuh. In other words, you are there because and nobody push you because you have the merit to be there. So it based on merit. And that has been the success of the Bidayuh, where other communities must emulate, including the Malays.
He said this during the handover ceremony of DBNA Community's hostel grant at Jalan Ong Tiang Sui in Kuching on Thursday. The 9-story hostel complex will be built on the old site with a cost of 16 million ringgit, where the DBNA headquarters also located. The project for the iconic building are expected to commence on January 2021 and are expected to be completed in 2 years. The building also includes gallery, multi-purpose rooms and 98 dormitory rooms which can cater for 196 occupants.
One contractor was killed and another injured following an incident at the Petronas LNG complex in Bintulu. Petronas subsidiary Malaysia LNG confirmed earlier this week that the incident occurred on Monday afternoon at the acid gas removal unit drain containment.
In a statement, Petronas said the incident happened while the complex was undergoing maintenance. MLNG claimed that both contractors were immediately sent to hospital, where one succumbed to injuries and the other received medical treatment. An investigation is currently being carried out, and all relevant authorities have been informed of the incident. However, operations at the complex remain unaffected while investigations are ongoing. Stay tuned for updates as we await further information.
All aquatic activities and entertainment centre are allowed to operate starting September 4. Announcing this in a press conference earlier today, Deputy Chief Minister Dr. Amar Douglas Ugambas said the reopening of the swimming pool is subjected to adherence of the standard operating procedures SOPs set by the Ministry of Youth and Sport of Sarawak.
Bagi waktu operasi pusat hiburan, ianya akan berkuat kuasa 4 September hingga 31 Disember 2020. Waktu bagi semua pusat hiburan hanya dibenarkan beroperasi sehingga jam 12 malam sahaja.
UGA also announced that all Malaysian oil and gas workers entering Sarawak and signing on to their offshore platforms will now be required to undergo COVID-19 screening tests effective tomorrow onwards. Meanwhile, foreigners and Malaysians who are returning from overseas prior to heading for their platform must undergo a mandatory COVID-19 screening and will be quarantined for 14 days.
Nombor 2, untuk sign off, maknanya dari rig balik ke mainland, semua pekerja dari pelantar minyak ke darat akan diambil saringan secara rawak, tidak wajib, dan mereka tidak perlu juga dikuarantin.
On the COVID-19 cases, Sarawak today recorded no new positive cases, maintaining the total number at 699.
The Marine Police Region 5 seized a vessel laden with 130,000 litres of diesel, worth over 227,000 ringgit during the Op Benteng Laut. Acting on a public tip of intelligence gathered, a team of Marine Police in Miri carried out the operation about 10 p.m. on Wednesday.
A statement issued by the Marine Police stated that the team spotted a suspicious vessel making its way towards Miri River and was stopped for inspections. The 5 crew members, including its skipper, failed to produce any valid documents from Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs to possess, sell and carry diesel, and is liable to be charged under the Control of Supplies Act 1961. The case will be handed over to the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Miri Enforcement Division for further investigation.
The implementation of Movement Control Order MCO from March 31st has seen a number of initiatives been introduced by the government, with the extension of Recovery Movement Control Order RMCO until the end of the year. Prime Minister has announced the government's preparedness to implement an additional economic stimulus package or other initiatives to help the people in facing economic constraints if necessary and if the government's financial situation allows it. For a majority of people, the additional assistance would be a helping hand for them to sustain their economy and income during this difficult time. Here are their views on the matter.
So we think it's best that we can have the assistance of our financial, which we can postpone our loan. We can pay our loan more further next year because we think this time we need the assistance in this area. And also I think one assistance that our Prime Minister can offer is in this SME. They can offer this SME financial some amount of money for the SME to really go through this period of time, because I think everybody is in the suffer, not only the community, but I think everybody, like the retail, is quite very big impact.
Okey, pada pendapat saya, kerajaan perlu menyambung semula program moratorium ni. Sebab apa? PKP telah di-extend sampai bulan 12. Dan kami sebagai rakyat, kita tidak dibenarkan berniaga keluar negara. Dan investor kita nak jemput ke dalam negara pun tidak boleh. Sebab apa? Ada sekatan kan. Jadi bagi saya, kerajaan perlu membuat pelbagai alternatif tambahan untuk menggalakkan bagaimana boleh membantu rakyat dari segi kengkangan kewangan untuk meneruskan kesenambungan hidup mereka untuk 4 bulan akan datang sehingga hujung tahun ni. Dan kita harapkan masalah COVID-19 ini boleh diselesaikan sehingga hujung tahun. Saya amat yakin kerajaan memang berkemampuan membantu. Cuma bantuan tu mereka perlu memperhalusi lagi dan mereka perlu melihat bagaimana bantuan itu boleh disalurkan kepada rakyat yang memerlukan.
According to Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, the initiatives provided by the government for the past 6 months are clear evidence of the government's concern for the people, regardless of race, creed and colour. Among the initiatives introduced include Bantuan Prihatin Nasional, Loan Moratorium, Special Assistance for Small and Medium Enterprises, wage subsidies, electricity bill discounts, and other initiatives under the economic stimulus packages. Muhyiddin said as the Prime Minister responsible for the people, he could not turn a blind eye to the problems and ensure every people have food to be served on their table.
298 other religious bodies under the Unit for Other Religions Unifor throughout Sarawak have benefited from the first phase of the disbursement of fund worth 38,747,000 ringgit. Deputy Chief Minister Dato' Amar Douglas Ugah Mbah said 38.747 million ringgit out of 50 million ringgit is for 298 applications from the non-Islamic houses for the constructions of new buildings, extensions to existing buildings and repairs on all buildings. He who is also in charge of the unit said the amount was part of the 50 million ringgit approved by the state government.
Yang kita bagi pada hari ini adalah 290 permohonan telah diluluskan dan peruntukan tahun ini 50 juta, tapi hari ini first phase kita bagi 38.747 juta, 38.7 million. The second phase is now being processed.
The remaining fund will be dispersed later this year. Ugah added that Unifor officers would be going down to the ground to monitor the progress of these projects to ensure that they are completed on time and within the budget. Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Dr. Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah lauded the federal government efforts in providing assistance as the nation faced economic fallout. As such, the government has proved its worthy through various initiatives introduced, including the extension of moratorium and targeted bank assistance for those affected due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Pengumuman Perdana Menteri mengenai larangan moratorium dan bantuan bank bersasar juga menunjukkan keprihatinan kerajaan karena di luar sana masih terdapat sektor-sektor ekonomi yang menghadapi keadaan yang sukar dan tidak menentu. Di samping itu, ada juga yang kehilangan pekerjaan serta punca pendapatan.
Karim hopes that the moratorium and the targeted bank assistance will help ease the affected individuals and businesses as the country's economy recovers. He said this when officiating the Merdeka at Community in Samarahan on Wednesday.
Although the government has spent so much to address the impact of the COVID-19 on the country's economy, the country's financial situation is under control.
The Prihatin Rakyat Economic Stimulus Package 2020 Prihatin and National Economic Recovery Plan Penjana worth 295 billion ringgit. Deputy Finance Minister Dato' Abdul Rahim Bakri said a fiscal injection of 45 billion ringgit have helped spur the country's economy after experiencing a contraction.
Bagaimanapun, jika dilihat pertumbuhan ekonomi secara bulanan, KDNK negara menunjukkan tren pemulihan daripada negatif 28.6% pada bulan April kepada negatif 19.5% pada bulan Mei dan seterusnya negatif 3.2% pada bulan Jun.
He was responding to a question from Senator Tuan Ismail Yusof on the current financial status of the country following the implementation of the economic stimulus packages. On moratorium, Abdul Rahim said the government had studied the financial impact on individuals after the moratorium ended on September 30th and was now moving towards targeted moratorium.
Iaitu mereka-mereka yang terkesan, mereka boleh menghubungi pihak bank untuk mendapatkan rescheduling ataupun restructuring bagi pinjaman-pinjaman mereka, dan ini telah pun dinyatakan oleh semua pihak bank bersedia untuk mengadakan moratorium bersasar ini. Dan yang penting sekali ialah kalau sekiranya tidak ada penyelesaian yang tuntas, maka mereka boleh ke agensi pengurusan kredit APKP, iaitu sebuah agensi di Bank Negara dan juga satu agensi lagi yang bertanggungjawab untuk membantu usahawan-usahawan kecil yang terkesan akibat daripada keadaan yang telah berlaku, keadaan ekonomi yang telah berlaku ini.
Johor and Penang are now free of COVID-19. The Ministry of Health yesterday declared that the Segamat, Barat Daya and Timor Laut districts are green zones once more. This means above Johor and Penang do not have any more clusters or cases.
However, the MOH warned against complacency, reminding everyone that new norms should always be followed, as Pahang recorded a new case yesterday. Johor and Penang joined Terengganu, Kelantan, Perak and Negeri Sembilan as states that are considered green zones with 0 cases from August 20 to September 2. As of yesterday, Malaysia added 6 new cases, bringing the total number of infected to 9,360.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson says he and his family had all contracted COVID-19. In a video posted on Instagram, the star actor said he, his wife and 2 daughters caught the virus despite being disciplined about health protection.
According to Johnson, he and his wife Lauren, along with daughters Jasmine and Tiana, aged 4 and 2, contracted the virus about 2.5 weeks ago. They caught it from very close family friends who had no idea how they had been infected. Dwayne said testing positive for the virus were a kick in the gut. Fortunately, Dwayne said they are now healthy and are no longer contagious.
And I could tell you that this has been one of the most challenging and difficult things we have ever had to endure as a family. But testing positive for COVID-19 is much different than overcoming nasty injuries or being evicted or even being broke, which I have been more than a few times. And the reason why I feel like this is different is because my #1 priority is to always protect my family. So we are counting our blessings right now because we're well aware that it isn't always the case that you get on the other end of COVID-19 stronger and healthier.
With such a harrowing encounter with the virus, Dwayne knows all too well about its dangers. As some Americans refuse to wear masks to make a political statement, Dwayne urged them to dispel all political notions to combat the pandemic.
It baffles me that some people out there, including some politicians, will take this idea of wearing masks and make it a political agenda, part of a political agenda, politicizing it. It has nothing to do with politics. Wear your mask. It is a fact, and it is the right thing to do, and it's the responsible thing to do, not only for yourself, but for your family and your loved ones, but also for your fellow human beings.
That's all from me, Emmanuel Ruben. Anytime, anywhere.